And welcome into another episode of Dan Tony Sports. My name is Dan Snyder, joined for the moment by Dan O'Shea. Tony Casper will be joining us in just a couple of minutes, but for now, we've got just the two Dan band. Dan O'Shea, what's going on?
Oh, just stressing about the Knicks, you know.
I mean, what is there to stress about? They're going to get eliminated. We know.
I don't know, I like that thing you said about Atlanta, tending to go up big and then lose.
Yeah,
so I'm hoping that trend continues.
To touch on what Dan O'Shea was just talking about, earlier today I sent a message to Dan, and Tony that had a picture that said that a meme that said that Falcons blew a 28-3 lead. Who are the other Atlanta teams? The Braves blew a 3-1 lead.
Yeah.
And what's the other sport? Georgia blew a lead in the national championship, and then it had a picture of Michael Jordan laughing with him looking at the tablet from the Last Dance documentary, saying me looking at the Hawks with a 3-1 lead over the Knicks. So hopefully, hopefully that's correct, because we would love to see the Knicks advance in the playoffs, and us being the resident Knicks fans, I've been very disappointed in what I've seen. Honestly, I feel like the things that the Knicks have done all season that have gone right just aren't. I mean, Julius Randle just is not hitting his shots. RJ Barrett is freezing cold. The defense at times seems like it's never even been played. The refs have just been atrocious the entire series, but not using that as an excuse, especially when your team loses back-to-back double-digit games. But it's just not been good for the Knicks. It's been quite a rough stretch.
It's been terrible. Randall's been pretty much a non-factor. And the Hawks are a really good team. They have a lot of snipers. They've got Trae Young, who's not only a great shooter but a great passer. They've got, really good interior guys like Capella. I think if we had Mitchell Robinson, this would be a very different series. But as it is, they've got us kind of inside and out. So it's really tough to be able to cover all of those guys. So we'll see if they can dig deep tonight. But I'm worried.
Yeah, absolutely. As you probably should be. One thing that I've noticed, especially in regards to the shooting, not necessarily the finishing, the playmaking, the defense, is that no matter how contested the shots are, the Hawks just keep hitting. Like, they just keep hitting, and it doesn't seem like it's ever going to stop. How many times are you going to see? You can pick any player, Bogdanovich, with a hand like literally up his nose almost, and he just drains the three like it's nothing.
Yeah.
Same with Trae Young, Kevin Huerter, all of them. They're just any contested shot they're hitting. Yet Barrett, Randall are missing wide open threes. They're making stupid, selfish plays. The only player that I can say has been consistently impressive for the Knicks this entire series has been Derrick Rose. And I mean, say what you want about, role players stepping in, like Obi Toppin coming in, getting the few minutes he's played exceptionally well. But exceptionally well.
I would say exceptionally well. He's been okay. For a rookie, he's been decent. Quickly's been pretty good, but he goes cold. as you said, yeah, Derrick Rose has really been the only consistent player, which is tough. And has me greatly concerned with the future. With whether Randall is really it. He looked great this season. But as far as playoffs, he looks like he did last season. So, we'll see. But we'll see if they can turn it around. But it's tough.
That's a good point. But also, I feel like Julius Randle is seeing how RJ Barrett is missing his shots, how the defense is just getting destroyed in the low post for the most part. And I'm going to just give a little bit of props to Nerlens Noel. He has played significantly better than Taj Gibson has. And one thing that really frustrates me is that broadcaster's curse. When he was at the free throw line 7 times in the first quarter of Game 3, they kept mentioning his 71% free throw shooting. And at that time, he was 7 for 7. And then the broadcaster, I don't remember who it was, said that, he usually doesn't make this many free throws in a row. And then the very next one he misses. The broadcaster's curse.
They love doing that. I think they get a sick pleasure out of doing that to players.
It's just insane. And also the one thing I'm questioning with the Knicks is endurance and how they make adjustments. Because through 2.5 quarters, they were in the last 2 games, really, 2.5, 3 quarters, they were going back and forth with the Hawks, and it was the fourth quarter and late in the third quarter where the Hawks, really started taking large leads. For the last game, it was a little bit earlier into the third quarter. But it's like the Knicks are either down huge and come back and either tie it late or win it, or they play well to begin and then just lose steam. So, how do we find a balance between the two? Because it's not good either way. The Knicks should have won Game 1. The refs made 3 really bad calls that directly led to free points for the Hawks in Game 1. Game 2, the refs were just as bad, but the Knicks, somehow late in the game, Julius Randle found a way that he could either get to the bucket or fake like he was going to get to the bucket and then kick it out to someone else, usually a guy like Derrick Rose. But I feel like the Knicks just need to... I don't even know how to describe. They need to conserve their energy, but still play with intensity. And I think the biggest issue is that they're not getting quality out of guys like Elfrid Payton to the point where Derrick Rose has to start, and you don't have a super fresh Derrick Rose coming in the third quarter to really take the game over. If you have a point guard, I know I've been preaching this for a long time, but if the Knicks have Lonzo Ball, someone that can come in and dictate the pace at point guard, it's a very different series. The defense just isn't getting the job done. Trae Young is getting wide open threes. I know you think you can leave him wide open at half court, but clearly not because he's hitting consistently, I mean. So if a guy is consistently hitting, you can't leave him open. And that's what it's been the entire time. I don't understand how the Hawks are getting so many wide open threes. I know they're hitting their contested threes, but how many times have you seen Reggie Bullock come down into the paint to try and help Taj or Nerlens and then get burned by Bogdanovich hitting a 3? It happens a lot. Not to single out Reggie Bullock, but there's no perimeter defense. And they're on top of hitting those contested shots, they're getting these wide open shots. And that's really why the Knicks are faltering. They need guys like Reggie Bullock. They need guys like RJ Barrett to, in addition to playing their offense, they need to play defense as well. And the defense just hasn't been what it should be. And it's not just that the Hawks offense is just that much better, because you've seen the Knicks, when they play that good team defense, when everything is being done well and intelligently, their defense is smothering the Hawks. I mean, the beginning of I think it was game 2, the Knicks were up like 9-2 or something like that. And the Hawks were just missing everything. Now, you can't expect that to happen for an entire game necessarily. But the defense they play to open the game is not the defense you see midway through the game. And that's why the Knicks are losing. Well, it's my little rant. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's just tough. They're just getting outplayed by both the starters and the bench, and it starts out defensively. You just get beat a lot. You cover a guy, they make the extra pass, and then everyone hits threes, and
and then the
game
you
get dejected. You lose your intensity.
Did you see the tip-off?
Yep. Worrisome.
The Knicks won the tip-off, and it went out of bounds. A turnover immediately to start the game. Oh, man. That's the Knicks, right? Anyways, we're not here to talk about the Knicks because we know that the Knicks are going to Nick and do Nick things. So what do you say we get right into why we're here? That's the NFC South. Now, last time, 2 weeks ago, when we did the first part of our what's going to be an 8-part Draftermath series, we started with the NFC East, and we went alphabetical by location, and we're going to do that again. So that's going to be the Atlanta Falcons, the Carolina Panthers, the New Orleans Saints, and the reigning Super Bowl champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers. All right? So, without further ado, let's talk about the team that I felt had the worst draft pick in the entire draft. And I know everyone's going to just completely disagree with me, but that would be the Atlanta Falcons. Round 1, pick 4, they drafted tight end Kyle Pitts. Round 2, pick 8, they drafted safety Richie Grant. Round 3, pick 4, they drafted offensive lineman Jalen Mayfield. Round 4, pick 3, they drafted cornerback Darren Hall. Round 4, pick 9, they drafted offensive lineman Drew Dahlman. Round 5, pick 4, they drafted defensive lineman Taquan Graham. Round 5, pick 38. I'm going to mess this up, and I do sincerely apologize for not being able to pronounce some of these names. But round 5, pick 38, the Falcons drafted linebacker Adetokunbo Ogudenji, I think is the closest way that I could phonetically pronounce it. Round 5, pick 39, corner